This week on the Pop Culture Junkie podcast, we conclude our Winona 101 class by watching the talky, stagey, romantic comedy Destination Wedding.
Fill me up with a barrel full of monkeys, as I hate being bored, I hate being bored. Load me up, cause I'm such a junkie. Every day all I want is more. So entertain me right now. So entertain me right now.
Welcome to the Pop Culture Junkie podcast, dear listeners. I am Shauna, and I am joined by my fellow junkies,
Hayley
and Nicole.
On this episode, we're talking about Destination Wedding, which features Winona Ryder in her fourth movie with Keanu Reeves. I know from our group texts that I am the only one here who enjoyed this movie, and I did. I thought it was really unique, really over the top, but I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, I don't know how. I couldn't. The whole time, I just needed them to shut up and breathe for like a second. They talked the entire movie. I'm trying to think if there was a silent part, and the only silent part I can think of is at the very end when she opens up the door and they don't say a word. And they just like kind of look at each other and they know. And I'm like, this is like the only silent part in the movie. And I needed it because it was so much.
I mean, I think that there's supposed to be a lot, though. I think the movie makes no indication that we're supposed to think that these are pleasant people. These people are just so ridiculously misanthropic and self-centered that I think we're supposed to, as the viewers, realize that they won't shut the fuck up, you know? Like, even when they're having sex, they won't shut the fuck up. And I think that's part of the charm of the movie, is that they both kind of sucked.
Yeah, I wouldn't exactly call it charm. It reminded me why I never watched Gilmore Girls, because I remember seeing clips of that show, and there was never any like breaks between people talking, and it sounded so overwritten and just unnatural with kind of the rapid fire conversation. And I knew from like 30-second, 90-second clips, I was like, no, like I can't watch an entire show like that. So with this, I don't know. I think I texted you guys. I was 5 minutes in and I was like, oh no, like I'm already not hopeful. And by 30 minutes in, I wanted to turn it off. It was a struggle for me to finish it.
Oh,
and
wow.
I'm usually easily entertained. And this was, it was kind of grating. It had its moments. And I will say my husband thought it was pretty funny. And so watching it with him was good because he kept laughing. And I think had I not had that, I would have definitely turned it off earlier.
He like reminded you, oh yeah, this is kind of funny, isn't it?
Yeah. There were a couple times where I was like, oh yeah, I guess that is kind of funny.
Okay, so premise of the movie, Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder, Frank and Lindsay bump into each other at an airport. He cuts her in line, and they begin to have the most, as Hayley mentioned, overwritten dialogue for the entirety of the movie. They are the only two characters in the entire film beyond, at one point, a maid knocks on his door. But besides that, no one else has a line in the entire movie. They are the only two people who talk the entire film, which I thought was fascinating. But they end up having to sit next to each other on the airplane, and then they find out, oh, we're both going to the same destination wedding, darn. And they kind of commiserate in their suckiness together for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, it was interesting that they were the only two people who spoke. And I was trying to think if I've ever seen another movie similar to that, where there's only, 2 or 3 or whatever, like leads. And I really, truly cannot think of another movie I've seen. So I guess in that respect, it was unique, but a failed experiment is what I would say. And I read one review that said, how much you like this movie will be completely dependent upon how much you like Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder.
Oh, 100%.
And I thought, like, this is coming full circle for us. We did Keanu 101. ending Winona with this was like, you know, I was like, oh, okay, great. I loved watching all the Keanu movies. I've loved watching all the Winona movies. And then somehow this is what we ended up with. I was disappointed.
You know what it kind of reminded me of was like a stage play. Like, I guess they did have a lot of different set locations throughout the film because they go from the airport to the airplane to the wedding, you know, and they kind of hop to locations. But the way that they spoke at each other, just dialogue and monologues the entire time, it must have been so hard to memorize the lines for this film. Because no one fucking talks like that. No one talks like that. Just so pretentious. They're both just such pretentious assholes. But the movie knows it. It makes no qualms in us thinking like, wow, they sure are charming people. But yeah, it reminded me of a play. And I think it kind of tried to set itself up like that too, because it had those cards in between the acts, which were kind of funny, of like, here's the wedding, here's the brunch afterwards and shit. Man, let's talk about Lindsay and Frank as people. So, in what universe would either of you ever date or sleep with Frank?
Never.
Is there anything redeeming about him in the slightest?
He's hot.
He's Keanu Reeves, so he's hot.
Yeah, the way he protected her from the puma, mountain lion, cheetah, jaguar, whatever it was. That was kind of nice.
It was a cheetah.
That was pretty sweet. But then he kind of turned it off when he was hacking up a lung trying to scare it away. And I was like,
yeah, what is that thing he kept doing, like hacking and like scratching his ear? Is that just like a nervous twitch?
I think it was like a so because I have really bad allergies, I felt connected to him in those moments because I do this thing where I'll do it. Let's see if you can hear it. Ready?
Okay. Oh, okay.
I don't know if you can hear that, but I sound like a pig, and I do it all the time. So in those moments, it's like he dropped the pretension, and I was like, oh, he's like a human being. I actually appreciate it.
I guess it's that thing, you know, where you can like scratch the inside of your ear with your tongue. Yeah. That felt kind of good, actually. I liked that. I'm just going to be doing that for the rest of the episode.
Like now Pop Culture Junkies explore how to scratch your throat.
We're exploring our bodies this episode. Join us. All of a sudden, our listenership just spikes. I say it goes up if we're exploring our bodies.
At the 15-minute mark, it just skyrockets.
It's like, why did everyone tune in right there? On next week's episode, Nicole's toes.
Oh, maybe a little more, too.
Little ankle. Anyway, speaking of exploring each other's bodies, let's talk about that sex scene.
Oh, do we have to?
Yes, we do.
Terrible.
I feel like I jinxed us because when we were talking about Autumn in New York, I was like, I want some more realistic sex scenes. I want it to be like, you know, gritty and this was like...
This was not a realistic. Yeah.
No, this was like too realistic.
Okay, no one talks about their childhood trauma while thrusting. He was fully inserted talking about his family drama.
His mom. She's like, can you stop talking about your mom?
Oh my God. Like, okay, I get talking a little bit like when you like your stomach starts making sloshing noises because you like downed a Diet Dr. Pepper right before sex and then you laugh about it a little bit. That's talking that I'm fine with mid-coitus. But trauma, no.
And the fact they were talking about, so if you were to get pregnant, would you want a boy or a girl? I'm like, oh my God. I kind of wish she did get pregnant, but whatever.
Oh my God. I love that she's such a negative person that while she's coming, she's going, oh no, oh no, oh no. Like anybody walking by is going to be like, we need to help that woman.
They're like in a nasty field full of hay. Yeah, it was so unpleasant to watch. It was so uncomfortable. And I was like, if we get a sex scene between Keanu and Winona, like it should be hot. This was not it.
That's what we got. I think, oh my God. Now I have to choose between soft Richard Gere nuzzle sex with the leaves and this, and they're both terrible. I need one of you to do an impression of Keanu's orgasm, though, please.
Hard pass. I live at home and my parents are right next door. So.
Hayley?
My son is right outside the door.
It didn't sound like an orgasm. Okay.
It
Shauna,
know what
that's
it is. True. That's true.
Well, it was like, ah! Ah!
Headphone warning.
My husband's going to come upstairs and be like, what's going on?
Oh my god. That's so funny. But no, I think they need to go back to the zoo and learn their animals because he thought a tarantula was a crab.
Yeah, what the fuck?
How do you mix those
crabs.
up?
Mid-sex.
You have crabs.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
It's nothing like asking a guy if he's clean while he's already inside of you.
Yeah.
Oh,
And are
too
we
funny.
like ignoring the fact that Winona's like 50? Like,
Yeah, you're
what
not
if you
going to
get pregnant? I'm like, I think we passed that.
yeah, you good
I
girl.
mean,
You
you
good
never
girl.
know.
Oh man. No, I will say Keanu was hot in this movie, but every time he opened his mouth, I wanted to punch him in the face. And I was impressed with the sheer amount of lines that they had to learn.
Yeah.
And my husband actually brought up, he's like, this must have been really fun for them to make because they've been friends since the 80s. Like they must
They
have
just
just
get
had
to
an absolute
argue.
blast.
Yeah.
But like, it wasn't fun for anyone else. So
I noticed at one point in the film, I think it was the airport when they have their first argument. I was like, those extras in the background are standing so still. And I realized I don't think they were moving. I think everybody was completely frozen in that scene except for them.
Really?
And I tried to look at it for the rest of the movie. And there were times where the people in the background are so still that I'm like, is this like an artistic choice? Interesting.
I don't love, let's talk about real quick the fact that like she had to basically beg him and grovel to try to like convince him
Yeah.
to pursue something between them. And I didn't love that.
That was a little pathetic. I'm like, girl, he is not worth this.
Yeah.
No.
You will find somebody else to commiserate with who you don't have to convince this hard.
Yeah, she kept saying, what if we're falling in love? What if I'm like, if you are, then he should also come to that consensus. Like you shouldn't have to
Yeah.
try to convince him of that. I don't know.
And I think that was what we were supposed to see in the end when he's going through his shit in the suitcase and sees the Toblerone and thinks of her and is like, fuck. I think she's right. As much as he doesn't want to admit it. There were a couple points in this movie, and again, it's supposed to be clear that they are terrible people. They are bad people, right? Or maybe not bad people, but they're just very unpleasant people. But some of the things that they talk about, like that poor woman, they're like, she's on the brinks of death. She's a fucking corpse. I'm like, she's not that old. Oh my God. And then they start talking like about like trans people using like outdated terms and like fat people. They're just like, I get that they're supposed to be just shit talking everybody so hard, but I was like, oh my God, you guys, she's not that old. Shut the fuck up.
I know. I was shocked to see that this movie was 2018
Yeah.
because I'm like, this is pretty new, and it was not good. I was saying before this, I was like, you have two incredible actors in a crappy movie that came out so recently. I'm like, I don't know. I'm gonna look. I want to see how it actually did in the box office. Does anyone know?
I had never even heard of this before.
neither.
I think it was straight to Netflix. I don't think that it
Oh,
was ever
okay.
in the theater. You know who liked it? RogerEbert.com and Shauna Trinidad. Yeah. I was looking up reviews of it. So, in your faces, junkies.
Well, there you go. The ghost of Roger Ebert likes this movie.
Well, how long has Roger Ebert been dead for? We should have
He's been
like
dead for a while. You know
oh my
what?
God, he's been dead for like 10 years, you guys.
He knew this
Okay.
movie was going to be made, and then he died, so he didn't have to watch it and review it.
Okay, so whoever's writing for his website now liked it. They're
He's rolling over in his
on.
grave that someone on his website approved of this film.
Who writes for RogerEbert.com now? Maybe
No, I
it's
don't know.
Richard Ebert, like his son or his nephew or something.
I do love that I text you and I was like, this movie sucks. And you're like, well, they can't all be Josie and the Pussycat.
I love Josie and the Pussycats. You shut your
I
goddamn
want to
mouth.
go back and watch it just so I can relive how horrible it is.
DeShore meets friendship.
Maybe watching that after watching this, I'll like it more.
True.
Josie and the Pussycats, you go in knowing that it's a satire and you don't take it too seriously.
I mean, but like, I knew that about Spice World and I was able to enjoy it. You know what I mean?
That's
It's kind of
true.
like, and even with this, with Destination Wedding, it's like, I guess I didn't know what to expect. Maybe if I knew what to expect, it would be different. But I don't know. Like, I agree with what you say about it kind of being reminiscent of a stage play. I remember I watched this movie that was based on a musical. It had Anna Kendrick and Jeremy Jordan. I think it's called The Last 5 Years. And it's a musical that really there's another cast, but it's really just them. It's kind of like Dear Evan Hansen, like a really small kind of cast. And I remember really, really liking that, despite the fact that the main characters are kind of annoying and it only focuses on them two. So I don't know. Maybe if Destination Wedding had some musical numbers, I really don't know.
They need to sing more. I thought that it was unique. I thought it was entertaining. I thought Keanu Reeves did a really good job in this. Oh shit, it's Be Real time. I think Keanu did
Hold on, side note.
Are you guys on Be Real?
No, because I'm an adult, Shauna.
Okay, listen, I'm going to post it mid-podcast.
Why are you on Be Real? I don't understand
Because
the
my
point.
best friend is on it. Okay,
That's
wait.
so funny.
What is the point
1,
of Be Real?
2, 3.
Oh God.
I don't get the point. I had some youths try to explain Be Real to me, and I was just like, I don't get it. I don't understand.
It's you can like post in real time and be real and show people what you're actually doing instead of curating some fake social media image.
As you're taking 20
I say
different
as I took the
pictures.
picture 3 times.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like people curate it anyway.
They do. I
Yeah,
mean, to
that's
be
funny.
fair, I only have like 6 friends on there. Okay, I made
It's
it.
so funny. I saw that TikTok is trying to be real. Did you guys see that?
No, oh my god.
This thing
I just
popped
got on
up.
TikTok. Can all these
Okay.
apps stop trying to be the last app that came before?
Dude, for
Because I can't
real.
keep up. My old ass
No, this
cannot keep
thing.
up.
This said, hey, tap the notification to post your first TikTok now is what they call it.
Oh no!
And
Yeah,
it-
that's exactly what Be Real is. That's exactly
Post
what it
today's
is.
now in the next 3 minets and see what your friends are up to.
That's what it is. You have 2 minutes to do it,
That's
and if you're
stupid.
late, then everyone knows that you're trying to curate your life.
That's dumb.
If you're taking a shit, you post it. You post on Be Real that you're taking a shit, so everyone knows that you're real.
See, here's the thing. Why? I mean, I don't know. Post that on Instagram. What's stopping you? It just doesn't make. I just don't understand it. I'm too old. I realized with Be Real, like with the introduction of it, I was like, I've officially hit the age where I'm just like, no, New
I was
stuff.
definitely the same as you. My coworker told me about it on a trip a couple weeks ago, and he was like, "Time for Be Real," and I was like, "That shit looks so fucking dumb. You're dumb for doing it." And then, like 1 week later, exactly 1 week later, I was like, "Oh, Jessica's on Be Real. That means I have to get on it too." And I added the coworker that I told him to his face that he was dumb. So,
Oh, that's funny.
whoops.
He's like, yeah, peer pressure gotcha.
It did. That peer pressure got me. I mean, that's why I'm addicted to so many street drugs, and that's why I use Be Real. I give in to peer
Makes sense.
pressure.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, so here's my question for you guys. Have you ever
Okay.
been to a destination wedding? Have you been invited to?
Good question. My wedding was a destination wedding, and I know people
Was it really?
feel a certain way about destination weddings. Okay, I didn't make people hike or anything, but we live in Phoenix, and we had our wedding in Long Beach, California. So a little bit of a destination wedding. I wanted to get married on the beach, and my husband's family wanted us to get married in a church under the lies, ooh, Freudian slip, under the eyes of God. So I found a glass church on the beach. That's
awesome.
Worlds. It was pretty sick. But yeah, I've been to a wedding in Telluride that I definitely had to like ride a ski lift to the top of a mountain. It was pouring. I was a bridesmaid. It was freezing in the middle of June, and I was wearing this one of those stupid dresses that are like fabric you can tie different ways. And it was so cold. My nipples were so hard. I swear, I looked at her wedding pictures later. Thank God they're divorced now, because I ruined all of those wedding pictures with my nipples. I swear to God.
That's why they're divorced.
They're divorced. They shook and Shauna's nipples. We can't hang this in our home. And then I got altitude sickness with my big hard nipples, and it was a shit show. How about you guys?
Oh my God. I've been to, obviously I'm not married, so, but yeah, I've been to a destination wedding. At the time I was living in Chicago, and the wedding was in Naples or Clearwater, Florida.
Ooh, is
So
it pretty?
It was beautiful. It was for my cousin Cassie, if she's listening. I don't know if she is, but she followed us a couple weeks ago. So if she's listening, your wedding was absolutely beautiful. I looked like crap because I was going through my, puberty stage. So I'm sorry.
Were your nipples really hard too?
I didn't have any. So, I mean, I did, but you know what I mean?
She just grew them.
Nicole grew her nipples through puberty.
I did. Little fun fact about me.
I love it.
No, but yeah, it was beautiful. I hope to have a destination wedding, maybe.
Love it. What about you,
Nice.
Hayley?
Yeah, I wanted to have a destination wedding in San Diego, and then realized just how much weddings cost in general. And so we got married here. But I've never been to a destination wedding. My friend got married in Utah, and I
That's
went
not a
to said
destination.
wedding. Right, but she is from Utah, so it's not like they, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's the only time I traveled for a wedding, and that's because she and all my friends up in Utah came down for my wedding, so it was only right that I returned the favor. But yeah.
You just reminded me of something that I was going to bitch about with this movie. So they bitch the entire time about having to go to a destination wedding. Why did she go? Why was she invited? It's so stupid and unrealistic that he would invite his ex-fiance, who apparently sued him, to his wedding, unless it was just to rub her face in it. And then for her to go and the entire time just be so miserable. I don't know. That was a little weird.
Yeah, I could never imagine traveling to a wedding of someone that I wasn't close to.
Exactly. Like, if I'm going to go to a wedding and spend all of that money on a plane and a hotel, it's going to be somebody that I really like.
Yeah.
And then apparently the groom is his brother, right? Or half-brother?
I forget how that relationship is.
I don't
but
know.
yeah,
I know
there's something.
his dad shot him, but they never said why his dad shot him.
Yeah. What? They added so many layers of weird, complex, family drama, but that didn't really unpack it at all.
Yeah, it's like, oh, my dad shot me and then he killed himself. It's chill. Oh. Mm-hmm. What a delightful comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that was so weird. So weird.
So the budget for this movie was $5 million, and the box office earned $2.2 million. So they did not even make up for what they paid to make this movie. I just want to know how this was a $5 million.
That had to be just to pay Winona and Keanu.
Yeah,
That's true.
That's all
That's true. I didn't even
of.
think of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the rest, I mean, it was filmed in San Luis Obispo. Can't be that expensive.
Right.
Yeah, it's like filming a movie, and it only took 10 days. So it's like if you're filming a 10-day movie in Chandler, it's not going to cost you a lot of money. So
True.
Yeah. Do we want to do some quotes?
Sure. There's plenty to choose from because the entire movie is nonstop dialogue.
I don't know how much more we can beat this movie to death.
Yeah.
I
Well, you
liked it, but
liked it.
I did, but at the same time, it's very just like
Yeah.
shitty people talk. They have sex. then I guess they end up together.
Yeah, there's not tons of plot.
Yeah.
The movie's alternate title was A Narcissist Can't Die Because Then the Entire World Would End.
That's pretty funny. And that was one of the title cards halfway through the movie.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like it describes the film pretty well.
Question for you guys. When you're at hotel, are you one of those that take the shampoo, conditioner, face wash, soaps like
Every
he does?
time. I'm cheap as hell.
Right? I'm like, I literally, well, I mean, not me, but my sister who's a flight attendant, she obviously stays at multiple hotels for her job. So we have a whole basket of like the mini shampoos and conditioners and body washes at our house. And these are just so convenient because I'm traveling quite a bit this year. So I'm like, I just throw them in there. I'm like, these are perfect. I don't know why you just wouldn't take them. But now a lot of hotels just have them like implemented on the shower wall. So I'm like, eh. But
cheap assholes. While I'm there, I'll use it all, but I usually don't take them with me. But I do like free stuff.
Yeah, it depends on... I guess it depends on where I go. Like, if I'm staying at a cheaper motel, probably not. But like,
just want that Holiday Inn stuff.
Yeah, I mean, my husband and I did like a staycation at the Biltmore, and that was like some of that stuff. I was like, this is more bougie than the stuff I have in my house.
Yeah, that I would take too. If it's nice stuff, it smells really good. It's like lavender. Yeah,
it's nice too to bring it home. Like, I'll bring it home and I'll use it like on my kids, like to wash their hair and stuff because. They're kids. Why not?
Dude, I just realized about your life, Hayley. You have to use so much more like shampoo and soap and toilet paper than I do.
Dude.
Oh my God.
Dude, you don't even know. What's
That's
crazy?
Bodies.
Who was I was talking to somebody this morning and I was like, man, I'm not a jealous person ever. Like, I really am I try to make myself a very, very grateful person. And I will preface this by saying I would have my kids a million times over. Like,
having said
zero
all
regrets,
this,
like whatever, right? That being said, that dink life of just like being able to spend your money not on, like you said, all the little things. Like, if I were to take a step back and add up like the sheer amount of money that I spend on my children, I would probably have like a panic attack. So I don't do that.
Yeah, don't think about it. Don't think about it. Dude,
yeah, I
will say, me and Andrew high five every once in a while. I'll be like, dinks. hey, you want to go to Africa tomorrow? Yeah, dinks. It's pretty cool.
For real. It's, yeah, I mean, I will.
Children
always,
are a blessing. Children are a blessing.
No. It's different. You know what I mean? It's like different. It's two different roads. But yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, even this with Destination Wedding, I was like, I wouldn't even be able to afford to do this. Like, if someone invited me, they're like, come to our lavish wedding. I'd be like, nah, I can't afford that. My kid's in ballet.
Why did they have to ride on some tiny little airplane? Does San Luis Obispo not have a regular airport? Like, I'm sure they do. Anybody from San Luis Obispo, please.
Her address was in Newport Beach, so they were flying from California to California.
Yeah.
Sure.
She's obviously wealthy. She living in Newport. She doing okay. Oh, that's right. She's a lawyer.
And her house looked beautiful when she opened up the door and you kind of saw the inside a little bit.
Except for her dead plants.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do some quotes. Okay. For this first one, who wants to be Frank and who wants to be Lindsay?
I don't care.
I'll be Frank. Oh, let me be Frank.
Zing.
Who's Lindsay?
Hayley.
All right.
Hayley,
I'll be Lindsay.
Okay.
Who's he with?
His girlfriend.
Howard left your mother?
Left is not a strong enough word. Fled.
For an older woman?
He would have left for an otter. Anyway, leaving is leaving.
No. Leaving for a younger woman is awful, horrible. But leaving for an older woman is worse.
Mom would have been just as angry about a younger woman.
Yeah, but she would have been able to use her age to rail about a gender unfair society. But leaving for an older woman is perverse.
God, that's so awful. God, they're so awful. My father left her for a younger woman. She can think about that when she wants to cheer up.
But your father and mother eventually made peace with each other, right?
Yeah, Dad jumped out a 7th floor window and Mom considered them all square.
I'm sorry?
Don't be. I was not a fan.
You're not a fan of many people, is my sense.
Well, this person shot me, so... What the fuck?
Oh, weird writing, dude.
Jesus.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, are we going to do the next one too? Nicole, do you want to be somebody?
Sure. I don't care who I am.
I'll be Lindsay this time.
Okay.
What if love comes for everyone?
Don't be absurd.
What if no one is immune? Not even us.
Stop it.
It would be remiss to not embrace the miracle.
What happened between us was not a miracle. It was actually much closer to a debacle. Maybe that's what you meant.
Oh, come on. You don't find it miraculous that two people like us forged any kind of bond?
I find it debaculous.
It was a miracle. It required forever being seated together. It required an adjoining door and a near-death experience. What are you waiting for, a burning bush? Don't beg him, girl. Run.
Yeah. Ugh.
All right.
Not to mention, we're talking about. Never mind. No, I'm not going to go that route. I was going to make a joke about a burning bush and their sex scene in the hay with no lubricant. You know what I mean?
They already had a burning bush. Well, they're going to later.
Jeez. Also, the way she just takes off her underwear and just throws it up in the air.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
And like,
Yeah.
there was no cleanup. What you doing? Walking back to that van.
Listen, if you're having sex in the middle of a field like this, I feel like we're going to go too deep into this. I'm so sorry, listeners. Just bend over and put your hands on the tree. Like, you don't need to completely disrobe and get on the ground. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't
Definitely
make any
going to
sense.
have crabs after that if they didn't have them already.
Oh, hay in her vagina. She said something went into her vagina.
Yeah. It was hay. It was like wheat.
Was it hay? Wheat.
I'm like, huh, yeast infection incoming.
Let's wrap this up, you guys. Like they should have. They should have wrapped it up.
You know what? It's true. What other conversation were we going to have about this movie? Let's be real.
We're going to talk about the
Let's
weird
be real.
boinking.
You know what I mean?
Everybody get on Be Real. Add me on Be Real.
What if that was their be real moment?
Oh my God. What if you're Be Real? I asked my friend, I was like, what if you're like having sex and your Be Real notification goes off? Like, do you have to be like,
Yeah. How real?
how real do we really want our followers to know we are?
There was a trend for a while where people would post like post-sex selfies on their socials. I remember
would
that
you
being
do
like a
that?
thing. Yeah. And then as a teacher, right, my students would add me after they graduated. And one of my like 19-year-old students had this like afterglow selfie. And I was like, delete, unfollow, gross. No,
no.
I banned
Oh,
forever.
God.
Afterglow. My eyebrows are smeared off. I'm just hair, my face, sweaty.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
There's something in my
Hay.
teeth the whole time, and he didn't
Hay
tell me
in
there's
your
hay
hair.
in my vagina. How did it get there? I don't know. How do we want to grade our girl Winona in this movie?
Dude. I don't even know.
You know, I will. I'll give her. Oh my God! I'll give her a C minus just because she had to. She had to remember a lot of lines, and she did a very good job. I always say this when I don't like movies. She did a good job with what she was given. She played the rude, nasty character very well from someone who just seems so sweet. Minus her stealing allegations incident, but that's besides the point. So I'm going to give her a C minus. I think her acting was very well in the film, but that doesn't mean I'm going to give the movie itself a good grade.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll give her a C. She had to memorize a lot of stuff. I guess she did what she was supposed to do. My main problem would be at no point during the movie did I stop thinking that this was Winona and Keanu. Like, I felt like I was just watching them, and I didn't get lost in Frank and Lindsay. The way, you know, I'm watching Girl Interrupted, and I'm not thinking, oh, this is Winona Ryder and Angelina Jolie. Like, I'm getting lost in those characters. And in this, it was just two actors overacting, really. I don't know. It wasn't, I didn't love the movie, but I also didn't really love the performance.
I'm going to be a little kinder and give her a B-. I did think they had some cute riffs and back and forths and jabs with each other that they got out really well. I think maybe there was chemistry between the two of them, but that's probably just because it's Keanu and Winona, and they are friends, so it's not like they have to fake chemistry. They've been in 4 movies together. I think she delivered what she was supposed to deliver in this movie, which was a super negative, lonely person. What grade do you guys want to give the movie? A+ is coming around. Yeah.
I think I'm going to give it a flat D, which kind of sucks because this is our last Winona movie, and I wish it would have ended on a different kind of bang, if you know what I mean. But yeah, just the past 2 Winona movies, they just didn't do very well. Autumn in New York completely sucked. Worst movie ever that we've watched, in my opinion. And then this one, which is a very close second for me. So yeah, I'm going to give it just a flat D. So it could have done a little worse, but it could have done so much better.
Yeah, I mean, I think the plot of Autumn in New York was flawed from the start, so there wasn't a lot of hope with that movie. And I think this has, like, it's the same but different. Like, I think the premise of having just 2 people talking nonstop for an hour and 26 minutes is a flawed premise, despite the fact that I like Keanu and Winona. And I think with this one in particular, because it was 2018 and it was recent, I've already known Winona from Stranger Things, and she was so amazing in the first season of Stranger Things that I would expect it to be like her best performance. And so it's hard to not see her in this and compare her to Stranger Things because it's the same time period. So yeah, I mean, I won't give it an F because it has Keanu and Winona, but I will give it a D-, and I would never watch this movie again.
I liked it more than Autumn in New York. I don't know. Winona's acting skills throughout her career have definitely kind of ebbed and flowed, I think. There's some times where it's like, oh, that was incredible. And then others, I'm like, that's a little weird. I liked the movie, as I said. I thought it was super creative and unique. I am going to give it... Okay, you know, like when you're in high school and you really, really want a B, it's like your parents aren't going to ground you if you get a B, and then you finally get your report card back and you have a 79.5, and then the teacher rounds it up and you're like, yeah, a B, it's a B, it counts. That's what this movie is. It's like right there in that cusp where of a B-, C+, right there. Just eked out a B- for me. All right. Well, that was an interesting Into Winona 101, but she's still our girl.
It was. I mean, I will recommend everybody go watch Stranger Things. If you've been watching this stuff with us and you need a palate cleanse, go watch season 1 of Stranger Things, and that'll completely win you back over to Winona
Exactly.
Ryder.
The Winona side. Destination Wedding was written and directed by Victor Levin and released in 2018 by Regatta Pictures. All right. Where can the people find you guys?
You can find me, Nicole, on Instagram and TikTok at Nicole_Eldridge, and on Twitter at NAEldridge14.
You can find me, Hayley, on Instagram at 30NerdyThriving.
You can find me, Shauna Trinidad, at Shauna Trinidad, Shaunatrinidad, on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Don't add me on BeReal.
And BeReal.
I don't want you to see my pooping selfies. Those are for certain eyes only. Be sure to find all of our links at our website, popculturejunkie.com, and join the Pop Culture Junkie support group on Facebook. It is a lot of fun. We have a lot of laughs. We have a Patreon. The link is on the website. It would mean the world to us if you guys could chip in. It starts at $5 a month. You get exclusive content, all sorts of silly stuff behind the scenes, and it's a good time had by all. Please make sure to come back next week for another hit of pop culture.
Pop Culture Junkie is a production of Pop Culture Entertainment Group.
So entertain